Viewers and subscribers, welcome back to Beating the Press podcast. I am your host, Rafa. Now, coming up in today's podcast, we're going to be previewing the opening weekend of the EPL season and look at the big games taking place. On Sunday, of course, we have Chelsea versus defending champions Manchester City. And also, we have a possible top clash between Aston Villa and West Ham. Now, joining me this evening to preview these matches, we have a full house. Sir Cole, welcome back to the podcast.
Good night, good subscribers. Always a pleasure to be here.
Christoph, resident analyst.
Good to be back, viewers.
And JJ, welcome back to the platform. Yes, indeed, gents. Yes, indeed. We're going to kick things off and jump straight into it. West Ham versus Aston Villa is where we begin. Sir Cole, I'm going to come to you on this one. Quick and fast. How do you see this game playing out?
Last year, I had the pleasure of observing Aston Villa a number of practice games before this preseason. Unfortunately, I haven't seen either Aston Villa or West Ham, so I'm really in the dark in terms of actually seeing the teams. But based on what I know of them from previous seasons, I still would expect Aston Villa to put up a good showing and to come out on top in this one.
I mean, a number of players have been brought in by West Ham, and of course, they are under the tutelage of a new coach as well. But Christoph, how are you seeing this game? From my point of view, it should be a fairly competitive game. Do you see that way as well?
I agree that it should be a fairly competitive game because of the smart acquisitions I would say that West Ham has made. Villa has also made some very good acquisitions as well. And we know from last year that Unai Emery is showing his credentials as a manager last season. I did not see any of West Ham's preseason games, so I'm not sure exactly how they are performing at the moment. But playing at home, opening day, I'm not expecting that they will be wanting to drop any points or anything like that. So I'm expecting a very competitive fixture. I'm expecting a West Ham win, to be honest. But there is this type of fixture has the potential to be a draw, considering that they're going up against a top four team, a team playing in the Champions League this season.
Indeed, indeed. But I'm sure Aston Villa will be lacking some firepower. I'm hearing Watkins turn up late, having his exploit with the English team was late for obviously the preseason and might not start in this one. Of course, the big German international has been acquired by West Ham, Fulkerg, Christoph, and he is a proven goal scorer not only in the Bundesliga but internationally with the top team there, Germany. But JJ, how are you seeing this game? I mean, West Ham looking to rebound, winning a trophy last season, firing Moyes, bringing in a new coach versus the Aston Villa team which finished in the top four and looking to possibly do one better this season. Oh, we're not hearing you there, JJ. You seem
Sorry
like
about
your
that. Can
microphone.
you guys
Yeah,
hear? Can you guys hear me
yeah,
now?
hearing you
Sorry,
now.
my Yeti was
Crystal.
muted. No, what I was saying was that's from New York. Okay, yeah, I was just saying. Aston Villa, was finished surprisingly in the top four last year. So, no pressure, right? This year will be a lot of pressure because we kind of expect them to do well. Henry did a good job. West Ham had a big problem last year, finished ninth last year. They're giving a lot of goals last year. They got Wan-Bissaka from us, to cover in the defense there, in the back. So, I mean, anything could happen in this game. I mean, it's the first opening game of the season. A lot of players are still not in shape. So I see a draw, but I would be surprised if West Ham pull out a 1-0 win.
Indeed, indeed. You did mention that big signing, Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well there, coming over from Manchester United, and he should add some steel, one of the better tacklers in the EPL over the period. Very few wingers are able to dribble past him, and he should add some steel, some muscle, some grit to that West Ham defense as well. But JJ, I'll come back to you on this. Give us your scoreline, predicted scoreline. You said a draw. Is it a scoring draw or is it a 0-0 draw?
Yeah, I mean, West Ham seemed to brought they brought a lot of defensive players in. They gave up a lot of goals last year. Like I said, over 60 goals in the Prem. But they were playing in Europe also in the I think it was
The
the Europa.
European Conference League.
Yeah, so the squad had to be bigger. This year, there's really no pressure. There's no Europe, so they should have players, readily available every week. Aston Villa, though, made some interesting decisions also with the Champions League and trying to score goals. So like I said, I can see a 1-0 win though for West Ham, and I
1
just
nil
feel
for
like
West Ham.
a lot of 1-0 win.
What says you,
But
Christoph?
not every always starts off slow every season. I don't know why. Last year was the same thing. Started off slow and they came back up. So we'll see.
Mm.
I'm expecting a 2-1 win to West Ham.
2-1 for West Ham and Sir Cole. What says you?
Games at a game like this, I think will probably be high scoring, probably more than 2 goals each. So I'm taking by the odd goal in five. So a 3-2 win for Villa in this one.
Villa. So you're calling an away win then Sir Cole.
3-2 Villa.
3-2 Villa. Interesting score lines there. I must say, for me, I'm gonna call a draw, a scoring draw. I'm gonna go 1-1 in this one. I think both teams are possibly a bit rusty in terms of getting their best starting 11 out there on the pitch. I must say I expect West Ham to come good this season, however, and I expect them to be right up there fighting for these European position. I think they will be the surprise package of the EPL. You heard it here, viewers and subscribers. West Ham to be the team that surprises the league. And hopefully, this is a good start for them at home. But we move, gents, and we move to the big game that is taking place over there at Stamford Bridge come Sunday. Chelsea versus Manchester City. Sir Cole, talk to us about this one. How are you calling this one, and what can we expect in this game?
Chelsea so far has shown that they are very suspect in the back third. They have always this preseason they've conceded a lot. I don't think they'll fix those problems in time for their first game. Man City, I think, still has enough firepower to penetrate that defense multiple times, and I don't think Chelsea will put up as firm a test against this Man City team.
So you're not expecting much from Chelsea, Sir Cole. Chelsea was one of those teams that pegged Man City back last season, even with the numerous signings they made. You're not expecting that this season?
Not necessarily, no. They have shown that they can score goals. However, we know how Man City is. They will boss the possession. In their preseason game so far, I haven't seen Cole Palmer probably still resting from his exploits in the Euros, and he's the person who you think will carry the blunt of the attack for Chelsea. Now, having not seen him so far this preseason, we're basically shooting in the dark as to where he will play or how he will play, what kind of shape he's in. So with him, with his uncertainty, I think it wise to back the defending champions in this fixture.
Defending champions being back there by Sir Cole. Christoph, how are you seeing this game? I mean, Cole Palmer should be rested. He did not see much action in the Euros. So he should be up and ready on all cylinders, playing against his former team in the shape of Manchester City. How are you seeing this one, Christoph?
Um, Last season, we know Chelsea was horrible for most of the season. We did see them, putting up quite the fight against Man City in all the games that they played
It
against them.
surprised many. I mean,
Very
those two
surprising.
games,
The first game I had picked them to be, blown away, but what was it, like 4-all or something
right?
like that? And
High scoring draw.
right, the second game I gave them a chance, seeing what they did in the first leg. So Chelsea last season did relatively well against the big boys, struggled against the smaller teams under Pochettino, but under this new manager, again we've seen a disastrous preseason. Um, they've brought in a number of players. We don't know if they've gelled. We don't know. Really, we don't know anything about this Chelsea team. It
It seems like the squad is too big at this point in time. That squad need to be trimmed significantly. It's like they have four players for every position, it seems.
Right. Rumors that Chelsea will be trading, Lukaku for Victor Osimhen. All these things floating around. At the moment, we know Man City has the firepower, they have the know-how. Rodri is fit, Kevin De Bruyne is fit. Actually, I don't even know if Rodri will be playing. He's probably still resting. Could be back. Um, but Rodri is fit, KDB is fit, Haaland is fit, Foden is fit. At the moment, it's very difficult to see past Man City winning an opening day. But I don't know. Chelsea is just an unknown quantity at the moment. I expect them to lose, but again, last season we expected them to lose, and they showed up for these games. At the moment, I still have to go with Man City. I think it's a Man City win, 2-0.
Ah, well, you have to trust your instincts, dear Christoph. I mean, there's nothing more than your football instincts to go by, and you're saying Man City to win. I'm not so sure. As you say, Chelsea is an unknown quantity, an unknown entity. Man City to me is also going through a bit of a transition, having lost Alvarez in the transfer window, and I'm hearing that Bob picked up a broken leg in training. So one of those wingers who was a standout in preseason is no longer available for this Man City team. Right away off the bat, Pep has to find some solutions.
I mean,
JJ, can Pep find the solution? Is the question.
He always does, seemingly. So, every season he figures out what to do and how to plug in players and how to invert. This player might think, oh, Man City needs a striker, and before you know it, one of the wingers get inverted to playing false nine. So he's a genius when it comes to inverting players into different roles. But touching on Chelsea, I mean, since Todd Bowley came in 2022 present, and their investments in Chelsea, whether it's breaking financial fair play or not, we can't argue about the investment. And if you run business, you understand you have to put money behind it. So they've been putting a lot of money behind business. And they got rid of Pochettino. He's now the U.S. men's soccer coach. That was announced today. But so good luck to him.
Oh
But
yeah, World Cup 2026.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think Chelsea, it's unpredictable. I think it's the start of the season once again. They have Jackson up front. These guys, Chelsea can score goals. But again, I think Man City with the experience they have and everything else, they probably pull out a 1-0 win, 2-0. This is Man City, but don't be surprised if Chelsea, make an upset here.
Hmm.
I think I
Ah,
disagree with JJ. I don't think Chelsea can score goals. I think Cole Palmer can score goals.
yeah, Cole Palmer definitely talisman
Jackson
over
is,
there.
yeah, Jackson is he's capable. I just feel like Jackson is he's like a drug boy. He's there's something behind him. Could be a drug one day. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he has gotten a number of chances last season, but his conversion ratio is probably right up there with the likes of a Darwin Núñez, in all honesty. Lots of chances, but failing to really take these chances. But Sir Cole, in terms of your score line, what says you for this one? You were leaning towards a Man City win, but by what scoreline are you making this prediction?
I'm thinking 3-1 Man City.
3-1 Man City. Christopher, come to you on this one. What's your scoreline?
I think it's 2-0, 3-0 Man City. I don't think Chelsea have it in them at the
So
moment.
you don't see Chelsea scoring at home then, Christoph?
And not even scoring after watching them get destroyed by, I think it was Celtic or Rangers in the preseason.
Right.
No, I don't have faith in this Chelsea team any at all, unknown quantity or not.
But I believe both Man City and Chelsea played a preseason friendly. If I'm correct, I believe that game ended like 6 or 5.
5-1, I believe,
Yes, so
4-2.
somewhere there.
or
Yeah,
4-2. A high scoring game, gave up,
yeah,
what, four
very very
goals?
early, very early we saw Man City up 3-0. So I think it is the same, pretty much the same procedure come Sunday.
What says you though, JJ? Are you going against the grain?
Yeah, I mean, I think Chelsea has it. I mean, Chelsea played Real Madrid as well, looked really good in that game preseason. So Chelsea's capable. I think it could be a 2-2 draw, or it could be 2-1 Man City. It's gonna be a close game though.
Okay, close game.
Because Chelsea
Definitely.
scored 77 goals last year in the Prem. They can score.
Okay, so
So
the issue with them last season was possibly the defense. Then they were letting
yeah,
in a lot
yeah,
of goals
exactly.
and possibly missing a lot of chances. They could have possibly upped their tally, but Cole Palmer is the man, and currently he's fitness levels are really unknown, but I
And
do expect him to
Reece
play
James
some part
also.
in the game.
Reece
So
James as
I
well.
can
We've
see
seen that.
Chelsea scoring, to be honest, but I think it will be a closer game than we probably think. So for me, I am still gonna back Man City for a win, but I'm gonna go 2-1 courtesy of Man City. I'm looking for a Haaland double and possibly Cole Palmer getting a late cancellation in this one, possibly linking up with Nkunku, a man who has been constantly injured, finally getting a run of some level of fitness. But lots of games going on, gents, lots of other matches taking place. Let's quickly run through them if time allows us. I mean, we see the first game of the new season circle coming up on Friday. Your team is in action. Talk to us. What is the scoreline you're expecting over there?
Well, the FA this wisdom has put the best first, so Man U to kick off the 2024-25 EPL season, get the first three points on the board. I don't
So you're
think it will be
expecting a
an easy
United win
game.
then, circle?
I'm looking for a regulation United win.
Regulation United win. Christoph, what says you? Fulham versus United. This one being played over there at the Theatre of Dreams.
Honestly, Fulham was relatively poor last season, much of last season, barely escaping relegation, I think. Um, Man United, honestly, is lucky to have not been in a relegation battle last season with those performances. I know, we expect that they'll be depending on the likes of Garnacho for much of the season. I don't expect much out of Rashford. I think, I don't know, is Hoyland in, how long is Hoyland injured, Circle?
Maybe 2, 3 months it
Two,
seems.
3 months. Okay. Hoyland looked impressive to me in preseason, only to be injured, I think, in the Arsenal Man United friendly. Unfortunate for him. I think it will be a tougher game than United think. At the moment, I think Ten Hag will be under far greater scrutiny this season than last season, given that he's brought in even more Ajax players that he has formerly coached. And I think if he can't come good halfway through the season, December, I think it might be time for him to go, but I can't at the moment. I personally want Man United to keep him. Poor
Yeah,
results keep
definitely.
piling up, definitely. Fine for me. Love it. From the Man U board perspective, if the poor results continue till or they're not at
But
a
I saw
certain
where
level
Van
December.
Nistelrooy was brought in though, Christoph. So it seems as if the manual board has a man right there in the waiting, so to speak. It's
Irrelevant.
almost as if the writing is on the wall.
What are Van Nistelrooy's coaching credentials?
Well, I believe he was coaching over there in the Dutch league with
He was he,
Feyenoord.
he was the head coach. He was the manager
Right,
of the team.
right. Yes, yes, I
So
believe
he
so.
he left Feyenoord to become assistant coach at Man United.
That's right. That's right. Former
Ridiculous.
Manchester United player as well. So it seems to be the way forward for United. Remember
So
they brought in Ole and they had Ryan Giggs as well. Carrick played some role as an interim also. So it seems as if it's a old boys club. It would appear, and Ten Hag is not an old boy. Ruud van Nistelrooy is the old boy. So it seems as if he's just getting a bit of experience under his belt, and it's just a matter of time before he takes over. But in terms of this game, though, Christoph, what's your scoreline?
um
Manu versus Fulham.
I think it will be a 2-2 draw or a potential for me, potential Fulham win. 2-2
Fulham
draw
win.
or I will say 2-1 to Fulham.
2-1 to Fulham. JJ, I'll come to you on this one. Another big Manchester United fan, a childhood club, and still your club as an adult. How are you seeing this game, and what's the prospect for the Manchester United season?
Yeah, I think it's going to be. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we are hearing you,
It's going to be,
Crystal.
it's going to be a good season for us. I think expectations are high. We got we're replacing a lot of players quickly. Ineos group is coming in and really making business happen. Delict came in, defensive player. We got Maguire being pushed to the fifth center back choice, which he should be. We have Zersky coming in. I know you mentioned Allen being injured, but we have Zersky, top class striker as well, for the Netherlands international. So I really feel like we had goal scoring issues last year. We were relying on Garnacho and people like that last season. Ahmad This year we can spread it out on the wings. We can play the 4-2-3-1 formation like we like to do with Eric Ten Hag with the triangular formations in the midfield and spreading the ball out. So I think we can score a lot of goals in Fulham. I think I see a 4-1 lead. It's going to be a nice start for us. 4-1, 3-1. Nice start, at home and 3 points on the board, leading the prep. Let's get it.
Indeed, indeed. I'm leaning more towards your version or your narrative there, Christoph, to be honest. This Fulham team is no joke. And under Silva, they have been playing some scintillating football. I think they will come into this game full of confidence. And just going off the Ten Hag press conference leading up to this game, Ten Hag seemed very unprepared for this season. In fact, that was what he told us in the press conference, that this team is not ready for the start, but the games are coming thick and fast. And to me, Fulham has all the pieces to create a big upset over there at Old Trafford. So for me, Sir Cole, I'm calling this one and I'm following my football instincts on this one. I'm going Fulham to win 2 goals to 1 and creating an early upset, set the cat amongst the pigeons, put a bit of pressure on Ten Hag, and hopefully this pressure will take its toll later in the season. And Ruud van Nistelrooy will get his opportunity at the helm. So for me, Sir Cole, it's Fulham to win this one, 2 goals to 1. But Christoph, Arsenal is also in action. Another big game coming up for them at home versus Wolves. Can the Wolves do the same as we're expecting Fulham to do over there at Old Trafford? Can Wolves put a big bite into the Arsenal title challenge?
Putting a big bite in the title challenge and opening I think it's a bit misleading. Uh, they do have the potential to do some damage. The Wolves has always been somewhat of a threat to Arsenal. I can't say quite as yet, but Arsenal historically has done well on opening day. Um, Preseason was very good. We saw them absolutely destroy the German champions. I'm not expecting them to lose this opening game, but we know anything is possible. Uh, I mean, as long as Zinchenko doesn't start, I don't think Arsenal will lose.
But I mean, Zinchenko should get the start, Christoph. And I mean,
Personally, I think he will start this opening game, but I don't think he should be starting it. I think he will start this game, but I don't think he should be
so you're
started.
saying Zinchenko is the ultimate weak link in that Arsenal team, then, Christoph?
Right now, the weak link in Arsenal, defense is Zinchenko definitely.
Mm.
If you look back to last season, a number of games that Arsenal either lost or kind of struggled with, and goals that should not have been scored, they almost always came from that left hand side. Salah for Liverpool, Leon Bailey against Aston Villa in both games. It was always that left hand side, Zinchenko. Um,
Possibly
Calafiori.
managers are targeting him as well.
Yeah, a smart manager would do that. And we saw where Emery did it, so we know Emery has taken that into account. Um, I'm not sure Liverpool did it intentionally, but Liverpool's main man is Salah, so regardless, it's just the natural outlet for them.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, that left back position is definitely a critical position in any defensive setup. But Sir Cole, what's your take on this Zinchenko issue? Is he the ultimate weak link in the Arsenal defense, or do you see things differently?
No, I disagree. Certainly, every goal that Arsenal concedes can be his fault or
no,
challenge
I'm not
to
saying it's
him.
his fault, and I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm saying when comes to shove and he is, isolated out there on the left, or he gets targeted by a team, there is definitely some capitulation on that left hand side. I'm not expecting it at the beginning of the season, but at some point later, a couple weeks into the season, I'm expecting both Zinchenko and Gabriel to be dropped for Calafiori and Timber.
It's a
Well,
bold prediction there,
my,
Christoph.
my research today on the topic, as per the EPL official website, says that um, errors leading to goals for last season I believe Zinchenko had only one. So if you're at fault for one goal, you're really not as bad a defender as as is being made to appear. However, I think that attacking wise, Arsenal does have some firepower. The thing is that they create a lot. They the goals don't really come through necessarily one source, but the goals are shared around in the attack, and that model in terms of attacking play is a more viable option. So they don't have the one number nine, which 20 to 25 goals, but the goals are shared amongst the team. So we had a number of goals coming from Trossard, Jesus, Martinelli, Saka, etc. Odegaard,
Havertz.
play, Havertz, players chipping in with goals, all around the place instead of central striker hugging the majority of the goals. So it's a model that works for Arsenal, and I think it's a good model to follow attacking wise.
Ah, indeed. But for this game, Sir Cole, Arsenal versus Wolves, what's your scoreline?
Traditionally, Wolves have been a fairly tough team to break down defensively. I'm going with a 2-0 Arsenal win.
2-0 Arsenal. Christoph, to you?
2-0 Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal concede in this first game.
And JJ, how are you seeing this one?
Arsenal should win this 2-0. I would agree. 1-0, 2-0. Arsenal looks solid, man. So yeah.
So, are you expecting Arsenal to challenge for the title this season, JJ?
I would not. I mean, they should be up there. If they're not, then we gotta start looking at the coach. If they're not up there, if they have a choke job again, if they come down to the last minute of the season again and choke, we gotta look at the manager.
What do
I
you mean
agree with you
choke? What do
fully.
you
I
mean
agree with
choke?
you fully.
Arsenal didn't choke last season.
I
What do
mean,
you mean choke?
expectations were high for Arsenal. I mean, yes,
Indeed.
they, and did they exceed it? Should they have won the title? They had the lead again, like the previous season. They always have the lead, and
Crumble
they
under the
end up
pressure,
Man
JJ.
City catch it. So it's always a choke job every season.
Okay. I don't know what season you watched last year, but that was what I watched. If a team choked on the title last season, it was definitely Liverpool, who were 3 points clear with 8 games to go and capitulated, losing every competition in one week.
Ah, indeed, the nature of football, the nature of football. It can go one way. One week can determine your entire season. Indeed, indeed. But lots of other games. Sir Cole, let's get a quick run through. I see Newcastle taking on West Ham. Quick scoreline around the horn. Sir Cole, how you see that one? Newcastle
Is it West Ham?
versus
No,
versus
Newcastle, man.
Southampton.
Southampton,
Oh,
yeah.
Southampton, newly promoted Southampton versus Newcastle. Newcastle, I
Versus
think, is
Newcastle at home.
Newcastle up on firing last season. They ran out 5-0 winners over Aston Villa on game week one.
Opening day.
I'm thinking again, if Newcastle will start on the front foot. I'm thinking an easy 4-0 win for Newcastle.
Easy 4-0 win. And Crystal Palace versus Brentford, Christoph. Brentford at home versus Crystal Palace.
I think that's a bit of a tough game. Brentford did well. Crystal Palace probably didn't do so well the beginning of the season, but did get better over time. I think I'll go with Brentford for this opening 1-2-1.
One in favor of Brentford playing at home. JJ, I'll come to you on this one. Liverpool playing away to Ipswich, another promoted team. How are you seeing this one? Can the new manager at Liverpool get off to a flying start, or will they be pegged back by one of those newly promoted team?
It's a possibility. Yes, it's a possibility. Liverpool could lose this game. So it could be as a 1-0 win to Ipswich, or it could be a
Mm.
Liverpool 3-0 win. But I'll say, I mean,
But
we don't
how are
know
you
what version
calling
we're
though?
gonna
What
get
what
this
what
season.
what what's
I
your
would say,
mind telling you?
I
What's
think
your call?
my mind is telling me that it's probably gonna be a routine 2-0, 3-0 win for Liverpool.
So routine win for Liverpool. I somewhat concur with that. Liverpool have been playing some scintillating football under Slot. Hasn't lost a step, with the departure of Klopp. And I mean, if Liverpool has any aspirations of challenging for the title, then this should indeed be a routine win. come Saturday. So for me, it should be another routine win for Liverpool. Possibly, I see this one playing out maybe 2-0 or 3-0 for Liverpool. Multiple goals, definitely. Ipswich will be looking to come on the front foot, new to the Premier League, youthful exuberance, inexperienced manager, inexperienced players. They'll be looking to take the game to Liverpool. Of course, playing in front of their home fans. And that's exactly what Liverpool want, that space to run in behind with the likes of Salah, Diaz, Jota. And I think Pandora's box could possibly be open. It could be a goal fest. It could be a rude introduction for Ipswich to the EPL. Liverpool should run out multiple goal winners in this one, in my is my prediction. But a few other games are coming up as well. So Circle Spurs. Spurs takes on Leicester, I believe, another promoted team. So I believe this one taking place over there at Leicester City. How are you seeing this game, Circle? Spurs versus Leicester?
Another hard game to judge in that we haven't seen Spurs play yet with their new big signing. I'm not sure if he'll be
You're
starting or
speaking
if
of
he'll be
Solanke.
on the bench. Yes, Solanke,
Mm,
who scored a number of goals last season. Probably would have gotten a look in as well for the Euros. So now in a better setup, we should get him more chances. Should do some damage. Uh, I'm thinking a Spurs win from based on what I've observed of them. They do
Spurs
score
win.
multiple goals as well. Suspect in defense, so I think probably a 3-2 Spurs win.
3-2 Spurs win. Pochettino should get off to another good start. Circle is
Another good
saying.
start at this time.
Christoph, come to you on this one. Everton versus Brighton. Everton playing at home versus Brighton under new management.
Hard to tell for me at the moment. I haven't seen Brighton play, I haven't seen Everton play. Um, but just using your words, using the law of averages, I would give the edge to Everton on opening day, given that they're playing at home. And Everton was also one of those teams that kind of struggled with relegation for much of last season. So I think they'll be looking to kind of step up this season and will definitely want to start off with a victory.
Definitely. Sean Dyche over there at Everton, top manager, but not given the financial bucketive to really strengthen this Everton team. Financial fair play has really forced their hands in the sale of some of their quality assets. Onana being one of those big name players which have moved on to now be playing his football over there at Aston Villa. But it should be a tough game. Everton usually is very defensively sound, defensively solid. And as you say, should be a tight game. Possibly Everton squeezing out a 1-0 victory, or this one, I would say, playing out to a 0-0 draw. And the final one, JJ, Bournemouth versus Forest. This one taking place over there at Nottingham Forest Stadium. How are you seeing this game? What's your scoreline for this one? Nottingham Forest versus Bournemouth.
Yeah, nothing for us has been on the edge like the last few seasons. Barely surviving, relegation. And Bournemouth, they've been seem like they're a solid team. Every year they just seem solid defensively. So I don't, I feel like it could be a draw though. So I see like a 1-1 draw, 2-2 draw with them, just kind of
Okay.
even each other out.
Well, some of these games has to draw, definitely, and this is one of those games which, based on the quality of both teams, could possibly end in a draw, definitely. But final word, gents, just a quick word. We are quickly running out of time. We have less than 2 minutes left on the podcast. So, quick final word from your circle. What's the word?
Looking forward to another great season. One thing I can say is that attacking wise, I expect Manchester United to do a lot better than they did last year.
Final word, Christoph.
Just looking forward to a very attacking season of football. Some better VAR calls, hopefully, and looking forward to Arsenal lifting the title at the end of the season.
So you're calling Arsenal definitively this season, Christoph. You're no
Yes,
longer sitting on the fence.
no, Arsenal win the title this season.
Okay. And JJ, what's your final word?
Real quick, Manchester United, like you just said, we were -1 in goal difference last year. So I expect Manchester United to score more goals this year, defensively to be sharp, and also to win trophies. I expect us to win, FA Cup, even the, Carabao, the Europa Cup, Europa League, and top four in the Prem. That's my expectations for Manchester United.
All right, viewers and subscribers, there you have it. The words from Circle, Christoph, and JJ. I'd just like to thank them again for passing through and really sharing their thoughts on and their opinions. But viewers and subscribers, remember to help us to continue to grow by sharing and, of course, subscribing if you haven't done so as yet. And, of course, leave your comments. Let us know what your predictions are. But until next time, this is Rafa signing off.